Hi, Terry. Hello. How are you? She's Way. Hello, Gail. Hello. You are new. So, have you never been here before with me? I would like to know that, Gail. And then also, how did you find me? And do you have any issues I should be aware of for today's practice? So, let me know all of the answers to those questions. And really nice to have you. Getting ready to work on strength, stronger body, stronger bones. Let's give other people a few minutes to come in. It is 11 o'clock exactly. So I would like to give everybody an opportunity to come in and for us to get ready for our practice. So hi, Nicole. How are you doing? How is the weather for you and all your creatures? I know you've sent a photo of a horse, I believe, on your property, but what other creatures do you have? Hi, Stevie. I love that your symbol is that flower. Hot, hot, hot. Well, I'll actually be over on the East Coast next week. But I'm hoping that the hot, hot, hot is gone, 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 because I hate heat. I keep saying that, I love Scotland and I feel like I'm going to spend my latter part of my life there because I don't want to be around heat. Chickens and goats. Oh my gosh. That just sounds so amazing. That would be a dream, I think, and I know, I'm sure that anything in life, right? We think we want it and then we have it. And it's like, oh, wow, this is a lot. And if I think about raising kids and having animals, it's definitely a lot of work. Boston. Oh, barn cats? Wow, how cool is that? I'm going to Boston. I won't be here next week, actually. And the following week is the 4th of July. So I'm just imagining that no one will want to practice on the 4th of July. Or maybe I do a short, sweet practice that day, something to keep us all in shape. But I'm going to Boston next Tuesday on a red eye. So I'll be over there. Oh, super friendly. Now, Nicole, what do you think of goat yoga? I have my feelings, but I'm wondering, because you're a yoga teacher, so I just wonder what you think of all that. For me, on one level, of course, I think it's a gimmick at first, and then I think, wow, this is crazy. Why would they, minimize this beautiful, deep practice of mind-body connection? Yet what I realize is that in some ways, people go out to practice yoga when they're doing it, goat yoga, and really what's so amazing about it is that it really brings you to the present moment, because there's so much mindset around, oh no, are they going to bite me? Are they going to jump on me? And you're so hyper aware of the present moment when the goats are with you that a present moment focused life or mind is so critical to health. So in that sense, I'm going to say I think it's good. Yeah, see, I think it's ridiculous too. But then I thought, well, so instead of just thinking, wait, you're deminimizing this deep, deep spiritual practice, I do think that there's a benefit of people that do it because they're so present moment and it relaxes a mind that can't relax itself. So, it has its application, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's because you live with them. But for people who don't, and if they're going to find a way to play with goats and they're going to do yoga too, maybe that's why they do it. Crazy. And they poop a lot. Yeah, goat poop yoga. All right, Gail, we don't normally have goat talk for you being new here today. But anyway, all right. Well, it's about time for me to begin because I think that we've had enough time for everybody to gather and to come in. Anybody want to ask for anything in particular today? Body part focus or issues that are going on for you today? Hope you can hear me. Let me make sure my light is turned up all the way. Perfect. If you need to ask me anything, it would have to be now because I do not see when I move backwards. When I move all the way over there, I do not see. I know that people come and they comment, but I don't actually see what they're doing. So I'm always trying to think of what can I teach today? What should I focus on today? What would be really good for us to focus on today is something I think often. And today, for some reason, I started to think about, well, what are the things that I do? What are the postures? Postures are aligned joints, right? Where these are not poses. You don't come into it and there you are. You come into it, you constantly refine the posture. You try to keep refining your posture, keep stacking the joints in alignment. So you could stay safe and create the maximum osteogenic load to create bone remodeling. So that's the intention of a posture. So I thought, well, what will we do? Well, today I want to do postures that I do often, that I find in my body often. And so some of them are traditional yoga postures. Some of them are ways that I take a break from sitting when I'm working a lot and sitting at the computer. There are movements I bring into my body to free up, especially the midsection and correct posture. So today's practice, let's call it yoga therapy for osteoporosis everyday postures. I think that sounds good. For today, you will need a strap, a block, a blanket. I really think it's great if you're at home to use a wall or to use something to lean up against. Could be the side of the sofa, the side of the chair. I did think today of bringing in a chair to show that, but I don't know if I have that depth of field here that I need for it to be shown properly. Maybe. So a wall is what I'm going to choose, and the wall just makes it easier to work on the alignment and to take some of the balance challenge out of the posture, which is a good thing. We will be challenging our balance as well, but when you are focusing on balance and not falling, it's not always easy to get the best posture and to get the best alignment. And so getting that best posture and alignment in the joints is going to give you the most stimulation. So gather whatever it is you need. We're going to come down onto the ground and get our body and mind to come to the present moment. So take your blanket and put your blanket at the top of the mat. We'll do a real basic beginning today. Come at first onto your buttocks, really feel your buttocks, move your body side to side, make that feeling of you connected to the earth, and then the feet, feel the buttocks in the ground. And then we're going to come down. The most important thing to keep note of for your awareness on a daily basis, so an everyday yoga therapy for osteoporosis awareness piece, is the front of the spine and making sure you don't push the front of the spine into itself. So we want to, instead of thinking, oh, I don't want to round myself and I don't want to have poor posture, I want you to think about creating space in the front, because that was what will activate the muscles to pull and lift you out of a collapsed position. So let's see if we can go down with core contraction. So zipper up a tight pair of jeans, suck the skin away from the zipper to activate the core muscles. Take your hands on your thighs if you need to hold on. Keep your chest open, look up, use as much power to slowly bring yourself down as you can, and then bring yourself all the way down. When you get down, let's arrange ourselves. Push your arms into the floor, your head into the floor, lift your rib cage up, slide your shoulder blades, lift your head and lengthen your neck. So let all of that happen in your body so that you have this nice shoulder blades where they belong in the back of your body. A really tremendous part of the practice of posture and alignment. Feet are on the ground and the knees are bent. And then let your knees fall in towards each other, and then squeeze the knees together pretty strongly so you feel the activation of the inner thighs, and then relax and let that go. And then bring your hands onto your belly. Take your arms out to the side, and then bring the left hand up to the heart and keep the right hand on the belly. Lift your head up, lengthen your neck, close your eyes. Keep your mouth closed. Start to breathe in and out through your nose, noticing what you notice. Bring your awareness to your head and neck. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let your head roll in one direction. Inhale back up to center. Exhale in the other direction. Inhale back up to center. Go slow. Exhale the whole time your head is moving to the side. And inhale back up to center. Exhaling and inhaling. Your eyes are closed. Be inside your body to feel, to experience, to notice. Bring yourself back to center. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in and out through your nose. Spread your palms on your body and start to breathe to your left hand to your heart. Breathing to your chest, breathing to the palm, the left palm. Feel the palm touching your heart. Feel your chest expand and contract with breath. And bring your awareness to the hand that's on the belly and direct the breath deeper. Feel the belly rise and fall. Breathing to the hand on your belly. The right hand is on the belly. Breathe to the palm, to the fingers. Then let's move through 3-part breath. Breathing to the belly, to the lower ribs, and to the heart. All of these 3 areas I'll guide you through. We inhale to the belly, the ribs, and the heart. And then we exhale from the belly, the ribs, and the heart. Because the breathing muscle that we're using and activating is a diaphragm. And it draws down and it pushes back up. So the beginning and the end is at the diaphragm, which is right where the hand is. We want to feel that coming into our belly. So keep your mouth closed. Take a big exhale. Let's begin. Breathe to your belly, your lower ribs, and your heart. Exhale from your belly, your lower ribs, and your heart. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Inhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Exhale, belly, lower ribs, heart. Continue on your own. Try to slow down the breath. Stay connected to the feeling of the palms moving with your body. Stay with the belly, the ribs, and the heart. If you get distracted, bring yourself back to feeling the body move and noticing and following the breath. Finish the breath you're on, take 3 more breaths. Stay in the moment as often as you can. Finishing up your last breath. Give your breath back to your body. Start to move your hands, your feet. Stretch your legs long, stretch your arms long, waking up your body, stretching nerve receptors, stretching body. Move like you would if you just woke up and you were really stretching, like you're yawning and reaching up overhead. And then go ahead and bend your knees. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up. And let's start to move the body. Take your hands alongside your body. Keep the soles of the feet on the body. So this, when I first started practicing yoga, and I was a teacher, or might have been in the process of becoming a teacher, I found it so hard to remember everything. What do I do? What do I do? So I would come onto the ground, I would close my eyes, and I would just start to move my body in whatever felt good. And so I started exploring movement in my body. So here we're moving the hip joint. If you keep your feet on the ground, make sure you're not tipping in your sole to your pinky edge or your big toe edge. And make it be more about the kneecaps. If you think about the kneecaps going side to side, if there were Sharpie markers on your knees and you were on the ceiling and you're drawing lines on the ceiling. So it's just your knees moving. You're not trying to throw your legs all the way to the ground. Whatever I don't know why, but the ego comes into every class I teach, thousands of bodies I've watched move, and we all feel that we have to push our legs all the way to the side. It's so hard to stay in the small movements, but the small movements start to lubricate, start to bring safety, start to secrete fluids, start to keep your body safe to start exploring more movement. So going small at first, soles of the feet, knees are side to side. Now we could go a little bigger. Now you could roll onto the edges of your feet. Big toe edge, pinky toe edge. Coming back up and doing the same thing on the other side. Rolling yourself side to side. So you get as much movement to come into your body safely as you can. Your feet are they're still on the mat. They're not that wide yet. Now bring your arms up. If you bring your arms up, you're going to start to stretch your chest, stretch your underarms.
Move your blanket away so that only the head is touching and you have space for your arms to be on the ground without the blanket. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your legs really long so that they're wide and all the way off the mat. This is something I see as a barrier for a lot of people, women and men, to spread their legs. We don't do this. We need to spread our legs so that we stretch the muscles of the inner thighs. So your legs are all the way off the mat. Find the freedom in your hips to start really rocking and rolling side to side. And that was the terminology that would show up for me when I would do this. I felt like I was rocking and rolling my body side to side. Now what can happen here? You can start to feel tension in your low back. So come back to center, tilt your back so that your low back presses into the ground. And from here, do the movement. Notice how restricted the movement is when you're in a posterior pelvic tilt. You don't have the same access in the hip joint, yet you feel that stretch in the hip joint. Tilting your pelvis back, feel yourself rocking across the top edge of your pelvis. So I would come onto the ground, close my eyes, and I did my yoga practice according to how it felt. It wasn't about, is this right? Is that right? Is this what we're supposed to do? Or that's what we're supposed to do? Then come back to center, bring your feet back. Draw your left knee in. When your left knee comes in, feel what happens right where the leg attaches to your body. What's happening there for you? You could feel it with your hands if you'd like. This is my hip replacement side. So I'm very intrigued right now to just feel if I do feel anything different in there. Draw your left knee in and then straighten your right knee. Might feel a stretch coming into the right side. Hold on to your knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, can you lift your head straight up? The nose is pointing up. We want to keep the front spine long when we have osteoporosis. So we do not want to bring our head to our knee unless you can keep lengthening your spine. You need to have a pretty lot of body awareness and a pretty advanced practice to have that much awareness to keep the front of your spine nice and long. The exhale brings you up. Really compress your abdominal area, pressing your top thigh into your abdomen area as much as you can, supporting digestion and movement of lymph in the torso, movement of stuff through the system, because a healthy gut and healthy digestion is important for bone health. Last time, and then let's come to the other side. Draw the right knee in. At first, just bring it in and feel what's happening there. You could actually palpitate it with your hand, especially if you feel compaction of that joint. You could push your finger in there and do a little massage. Notice maybe something's happening in the back of the body. This helps to release some of the holding patterns of the low back. So it's going to free up our spine for some of the movement we'll do today to strengthen our spine. Take your hands onto your shin, left leg is long. Maybe you feel a stretch coming in there, just noticing for you what's happening. And then notice, is your neck pulling away from the ground and your nose pointing more towards the back wall? Because as we manipulate the lower part of the spine, the upper part of the spine is going to respond. So just noticing in your body what's happening. Inhale. As you exhale, compress your abdominal area with your leg. Lift yourself up. You may feel an extra lengthening of some of the muscles in front of that left hip. Really squeeze the right thigh into the belly. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. And then one more. Bring yourself back. Bring both legs into the bent knee position and draw them in deep. Now spread your legs wide and then hold on behind your hamstrings and rock side to side. So this is stretching and lubricating the lower spine and the hips. Then bring yourself back to center. Let's undulate our spine, moving through a moving bridge to help to warm up the spine here a little bit more. Take your feet a little bit away from you. You can leave the blanket behind your head. We're not going to lift too high. You'll just lift your body off the floor till about the heart. Tilt your pelvis back. Arms are alongside your body. Lift your rib cage up and slide the shoulder blades to the spine. Tilt your pelvis back, exhale. Inhale, and now push your feet into the floor, squeeze your tushy, push your pelvis up towards the sky, unbend the hip joint, and then lift your body up so you feel the weight moving towards your heart, and then tilt your pelvis back strongly, lift your heels up, and put your spine back down on the ground. Exhale, push your feet in, squeeze your tushy, lift your pelvis, peel your spine up. Start to put the spine down as you inhale, tilt your pelvis back, heels up, all the way rocking to your tailbone. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. Exhale to rise. Inhale to lower. Try to rock your pelvis as much as you can so we really lubricate the lumbar spine and the low back muscles. And then bring yourself back up to center. If you move yourself back. Let's do a twist. So bring your knees into your chest. Take your block, bring your block to your left. Keep your knees high and bring your knees over to the side. Try to keep your right shoulder blade on the ground, hard up towards the sky. So it's the beginning of the practice, stretching the side hip joint, posterior hip capsule. Hold on to the top of the right leg. Try to keep your rib cage on the ground and your heart up towards the sky. And then your right thigh, push it away with the muscles of your body. Keep your right waist long and breathe to your right waist. One more breath. And then bring your knees up high. You want to stay safe in your lumbar spine as you move to the side. Rotation is one of the best ways to stimulate the spine, yet it's also one of the ways we can injure ourselves. Injuries happen a lot during rotation, not necessarily practicing yoga, but in daily movements or at the gym when you're bending forward and rotating, or bending into the car and reaching for something. So we want to practice that safely here. Take the block to the right. Keep the knees high so you protect your lumbar spine as you let your legs fall over to the right, onto the block. Right hand on the top of the left thigh. Create as much space in the left waist as possible. Breathe to the left. Keep your shoulder blades on the ground and the heart up towards the sky. Being on the block is what helps you get that in your body. If you feel like you're a little bit more flexible and you can take the block out, you could do that, keeping the rib cage on the ground. So making sure your heart's up. So you don't want this to fly off the ground. So keeping the block there or whatever you need. Take one more breath. And then draw your knees to your chest. Push your feet into the floor. So we're going to do a bridge pose to start the practice, to start the postures, which is one of the poses that I do often because I think it's one of the most beneficial, healthy aging, strong bones, strong balance, strong spine movements. So take a strap and you want to have a loop in the strap or you want to tie something around your legs. So if you have a strap, you could tie it around your legs. So you take the loop and you bring your knees up and put your feet through the loop. So the loop is on the top part of your thighs. And if you put your hands between your thighs, you only have about a fist distance. Then you're going to take your blanket away from the back of your head. Bring your arms down alongside your body. Lift your ribs, slide your shoulder blades closer together. Now let's all begin with our arms bent like this. Palms are facing each other, fingers are up towards the sky. Lift your head, lengthen the back of your neck. Walk your feet as close as you can get them. Push out on the strap, tilt your pelvis back. Inhale. As you exhale, push your feet in, push out on the strap, squeeze your tushy. Feel the pelvis leave the floor. Feel the low back leave the floor. And then when you get to about your elbows, push your elbows into the floor and lift as much of your rib cage off the floor as you can, coming into the highest variation of bridge for you. Push out on the strap. Push all parts of your feet into the floor. If you get cramps in the back of your body, you could come onto your toes. the balls of your feet. Make sure you're pushing your toes into the ground, you're pushing out on the strap, you're squeezing your buttocks, you're pushing your arms into the floor, you're lifting your rib cage, your shoulder blades are sliding forward and bending your spine as much as they can. You could push your feet into the floor so you could bend your spine more, and the weight should be experienced in the upper back, in the rib cage, not in the head. The neck is long, you want the weight to be supported by the arms. Push the arms into the floor like crazy. Push the back of the spine into itself. Push out on the strap. Squeeze your tushy. Push your feet into the floor. Take 3 more breaths. Slowly bringing yourself down. You want to come down and push one bone at a time into the ground. Come onto your tippy toes. Lift your heels up. Tilt your pelvis back to stretch the spine and the back. Bring the blanket back under your head. Take your strap off. So bridge posture could be done in the morning when you wake up in your bed. It could be done intentionally having a mat set out in your house and finding bridge pose, or doing a practice. And bring your legs onto the ground. So let's take the right leg in the hand and unbend and bend the leg. Flexibility, really critical to bone health and to muscle health and healthy aging and fluidity in the body. So having limber hamstrings is important. Having functional knees, do the same thing with the left leg. So throughout the day, when I'm sitting, if I'm sitting on a chair or a sofa or wherever, I am constantly grabbing my toe and putting my leg straight. Now, I have a lot of flexibility because I practice yoga often, but having lengthened hamstrings, important. This is called supine big toe pose. Most people cannot do this. So when we're practicing yoga, we could do this with a strap. So take a strap so that we work on increasing that flexibility in the back of the legs. Let's bring the right foot into the strap. This posture is called Supta Padangusthasana. You could do it with a strap or a towel, or like I do, I grab onto my toe or the side of my foot and I bring my leg into a fully stretched position often. I would say that almost every day out of the week, if I'm on a sofa or something, I'm grabbing my leg and putting my leg up in the air. So take a hold of your strap with straight arms as high up as you can, as close to your foot as you can. So working towards the ability to reach for your toes. Now, you might not ever have that, but keeping your hands straight up the strap will show you, it's kind of a gauge for you to see where are you in your practice and how limber are you becoming in your leg. So pull down strongly. Push the right leg away, and now strongly pull the right leg back towards the wall behind you. Push your left foot or your left leg into the floor. Push your right leg away with the muscles. Pull down, feel the right buttock strongly pressing into the ground, and pull the right leg back towards the wall behind you. Really stretch that hamstring muscle group. Important for balance, for fall prevention, for healthy knees, healthy glutes, healthy low back, to support posture, to keep your feet healthy, your calves healthy, your ankles healthy. Pull down, push away, pull back. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend your left leg, bring your left leg up. If you'd like to try to see here, This is definitely my tighter side. Need to bring my head off the ground for this one. So I try to do this one often as well, or holding the pinky toe edge. Take your hands pretty high up the strap. This will be a gauge for you on how flexible. You want to make sure your knee is straight. So you may be here right now with straight arms because your leg may need to be away because it's not quite as flexible yet. But it's a gauge for you to see, especially, well, it doesn't matter what strap you use. It'll just show you how high you can get towards your leg. Right leg straight if that's appropriate for your body. Push your right leg down. It'll help you get a little bit more alignment in your left leg. Pull your left leg down. Push your left leg away from you and now guide that left leg towards the wall behind you. Push the left kneecap away, pull down, push away, and pull back all at once. And feel that in your body. You want to create a lot of tension. The stronger you're able to pull on your bones and push on your bones, the more stimulation you'll create, the stronger bones you'll have. Your body will build whatever it is it thinks it needs. So demand a lot right now. Push the leg away, pull down, pull back. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend. Bring your legs out. Take the strap off to the side. So holding on to your leg, see if you could do this. You could come onto your side if you'd like. You could bend your knee. You could hold on to your outside edge or the pinky toe. The big toe, just to see if you have anywhere near this ability to do this. And then do the same thing with the other side. You hold on to the edge of the pinky. You move towards straight or to the big toe. And then bring yourself out. Come onto your side and then push yourself up. So trying to find different times of the day, different ways to always check on your body for flexibility, for strength. Bring your blanket onto the mat. The next posture I'm going to do, plank, is something that I think I do the most. Between the chair pose and plank, I'm not sure which one I do the most often, but these are pretty great postures for using a lot of different muscles in your body. So modify to whatever way you need. If you have wrist issues, if you turn your wrists out to the side, that might be something, or fists for wrists, or modify according to what you need. Take your hands underneath your body and then bring one foot back to stretch the calf and then the other, spreading your hands really wide. Then bring your foot back, bring the other foot up. Let's do a little wide stance at first. So take your hands really wide, take your feet really wide. Feels a little easier for me to do this. I feel it a little bit more dispersed, and then really try to push the pinky toes into the floor and push through your heels. And then just pop your tushy up a little. That'll make sure that we're staying a little safe. And then bring your awareness to your belly, to your core, to the pubic bone at the base of the pelvis. And can you pull the pubic bone up towards the belly button, like you're trying to tilt your pelvis backwards? Do that on the exhale. So take an inhale, exhale, tilt the pelvis. Inhale, release. Exhale, tilt the pelvis. Inhale, release. Keep your head active. So if your eyes are open, you want to be looking a little forward of your fingers, not letting your head hang. Really push away from the floor strongly with all 10 fingers. Push them into the floor. Push all the toes in, push through the heels. Tilting your pelvis on the exhale. Really feel that core activating. Now dig your hands in, dig your feet in, and try to slide them towards each other. When you do your exhale, one more breath.
And then bring yourself down. Bring yourself into a rest position. Close your eyes. It was a long plank, 1.5 minutes. The longer we do the postures, the more strengthening stimulation we're sending to our body. Do them as long as is appropriate for you. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. So plank, something I do quite often. So we're going to come into side plank, and I am going to do this near the wall. It would be great for you to do it near a wall or a piece of furniture. It's a pretty challenging posture. And sometimes I'll do it for 30 seconds or sometimes I'll do it for 3 breaths. So let's see if we could do a 30-second side plank here. Setting yourself up. So the variation, if you're new to the practice, you could come into a balancing half moon, which is a variation, still working that lateral chain, strengthening the lateral chain. So this would be a variation. Or if you're going to do the full posture, you're going to roll onto the edge of the pinky toes, really working on lifting your pelvis away from the ground. So you're going to choose what's appropriate for you. It's really strong. The most important thing for me is that you pay attention to your shoulder girdle. You don't want to collapse. You have heart lights and hip lights. And when we do this lateral movement, you want your heart lights and hip lights to be facing the same direction. You don't want them facing down towards the ground. So you really need to open up into your side body, which is why having a wall or a chair or something is helpful. So let's prepare, bringing your feet together, lifting your pelvis up and coming onto your pinky toe edges. When you get here, you want to turn your heart forward, turn your hip lights and heart lights forward. Really reach up, reach long with your spine and push your heart forward. Make sure that that lower armpit chest area is open and not collapsing. And you want to push away from the floor a lot with your foot. The pinky toe edge is what helps to support the weight of the pelvis here. So really push away from the floor and lift yourself up in this posture. Take one more breath. You come out, and then we'll go to the other side. So bringing yourself into first the plank. From here, lifting up and coming into the rotation, rotating forward. So you want to lengthen your spine, really push your feet into the floor, because that's where the management of the weight of the lower body takes place. And then lengthen your heart. One more breath. Bring yourself out. Bring yourself all the way into a rest position to catch your breath. Try to keep your mouth closed. Breathe down to your belly. And then open your eyes. So you can tell that you are doing a strong posture when you get out of breath, because there's a lot of demand inside for more oxygen, because either you're using muscles you don't use that often, or we're using big muscles and a lot of effort inside, and our oxygen needs increase. So you could tell, so that side plank and even plank, really big postures. We're going to come up to standing, do some standing work. Bring your foot forward. Using a wall is pretty nice here too. And then bring yourself all the way up to standing, and then clear your space of the props. So this next few postures, a couple of them are in the Yoga Therapy for Osteoporosis work of Dr. Fishman. Well, Yoga for Osteoporosis he does, although he is a yoga therapist as well. And then there's another one that comes in there too. So we're gonna do a little fun stuff here with the warrior and the side angle. And so let's come first into mountain, understanding the joint alignment, stacking the joints. Mountain posture, something I work on often. Thinking about posture. Push your feet into the floor, all of your toes, the ball of the foot. Now push the whole pinky toe edge. Push a lot of pressure on your pinky toe edge. Now push your heels into the floor. Push your top thighs back, hands back. Correct your pelvic tilt. And then stack the opening of the pelvis at the bottom, pelvis at the top, with the opening of the rib cage at the bottom, rib cage at the top, and the opening of the base of your skull. Find that alignment in those structures and be as tall as you could be in your body. Be active. Push away from the floor and get nice and tall in your posture. Feel like there's a posture hook behind you, and you're going to tuck your chin down 1/2 inch, lift your head up, and feel like you could put yourself on this gentle posture hook that gives this little traction and this alignment support. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Coming into a single leg balance mountain, I do this often. Tree pose. I do this all the time. Brushing my teeth, waiting for something to heat up, standing. A lot of the times in conversation with people, I'll be in a tree. So come from mountain, push yourself over to a foot, whichever one you want. Bring the opposite foot, either the heel onto the lower leg or the leg up. And then let's stay here for a minute. So I'm telling you a minute before. Notice what that did to you. How did that make you feel? If you bring your arms up into scarecrow and you push your arms back, you'll get your shoulder blades to help support you here in this posture. And then find something to look at that doesn't move. And then if you do need a little challenge, if you want a little bit more, either close one eye and then the other. So you could try that. Closing both eyes is almost impossible and only recommended for those with a very strong practice that know that they're not a great fall risk. So you choose the practice that's right for you. The other option here would be to let your head go up above you, which will bring a lot of challenge for balance and communication in your body. So see what's right for you. Take one more breath. Dismount gracefully back into your mountain. Hands down alongside your body. Push your body weight to the other side. Let's go to the other leg in whatever way you would like. We're here for a minute. You could have your hands. And if you're pretty strong and you have a pretty strong tree, then challenge yourself. Even if you fall out of the tree, the goal is not that you stay up the whole time on one leg. The goal is that you challenge your body, that you make sure you have these lines of communication functioning, either closing your eye one at a time, or letting your head go up. Even moving your head side to side. You could do that every day. Stand on your leg every day and add these challenges as you get stronger. Notice that you're getting stronger. Take one more breath. Bring yourself out, bring yourself down. Shake the tension out of your body from holding that balance. Let your joints be free. So let's come into a warrior position. So having a wall if you need a wall, come into a wide-legged stance. Get whatever you need to make it comfortable to go really wide in your stance. So be near a wall or a chair. Let's go to the left side first. Lift your left toes and turn your left foot away. Pick up your back heel and move your back heel away. Take your right hand on your back leg and push away with the right foot. Slide your right hand down the right leg and push your left knee to the left. Once you get down here, lift your arches up, make your feet active, squeeze your tushy, pull your tailbone down, and then let's bring in the upper part. Shoulders are up, back, and down, and lift your arms up. Active arms. Reach long with your fingers, lower your shoulders, slide the shoulder blades back, and push the arms back. Push away from the right leg, go a little deeper if you can. Active feet, gripping the floor with your feet. Try to rip the floor apart or try to push the feet or pull the feet apart from each other to keep you nice and active in the lower body. Come a little bigger with your stance if you can. So really ripping the floor apart, feeling that, and going deeper if you can. Lift your head up. Really reach out of your arms. Pull back with your back arm to go down a little deeper. Take one more breath. You're gonna bring yourself back up. Bring your toes forward. Let's prepare on the other side. Toes up, toes away, heel away. Slightly bend the right knee. Take your left hand on the back leg. Actively activate the back foot by pushing your toes into the floor, pushing your foot towards that pinky edge and trying to push the pinky edge into the floor. Inhale, slide your left hand down the back leg as you bend the front knee. Keep sliding the hand down. Let your body follow that as you bend the front knee. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Lift your arms up, lower your shoulders, shoulder blades towards each other. Grab the floor with your feet, push your toes in and push into your pinky toe edges. Try to push your knees back. Squeeze your buttocks and pull your tailbone down to minimize the lower back curve, to protect your lower spine. Push the floor away from you in the back, in the left. Reach long with that left hand. Let your body move back to the left to go a little lower into the right. Ripping the floor apart. Staying nice and tall in your posture. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up, bring yourself out. Take your ankle and your foot. Now we're doing a single leg balance. Another thing that I do often, I stand on one foot and I articulate the other. So circles in one way, circles in the other. Single leg balance, putting pressure in that standing hip. And do the same thing with the other foot. Forward. You can do this wherever you are, shopping, standing, talking, in the kitchen, wherever. Just always challenging your joints to find balance. And then bring yourself back. The more work you do with your feet in the standing postures, when you're loading down into them, the more tension you're going to feel in them. So let's come into the side angle. Take your legs wide again. We're going to go to the left. Toes are up, toes away, heels away. Back leg. You're going to put your hand on the back leg, front leg starts to bend, you push away from the back leg and you slide your back hand down that back leg. That keeps you in a nice position so you can go deep in that front hip. Bring your arms up. From here, reach long over the front thigh. Bring your hand on top of the thigh. Bring your other hand up in the air. Now the back foot, really push the pinky toe edge into the floor. Feel that. Go a little deeper in that front leg if you can. Bring the arm onto the inside of the leg so you're not leaning on it anymore. You're now pushing into that leg, if that's appropriate for you. If being here and leaning is something you need, do that. Do whatever it is you need. Long heart, long spine, torso far away from the top thigh. And be in alignment. Your legs are, your posture, your torso is right on top of your legs. Don't have your tushy far back and your torso forward. Try to be in this alignment like you're between two sheets of glass. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back up. Bring yourself all the way out, unbending your limbs, bringing your toes forward. Bring the right toes away, the left heel away. Bending the right knee. Take your hand on your back leg. So you're going to push away from the back foot. Slide down the back leg to bend the front leg, pushing the knee to the side. From here, come into your warrior two. From here, reach long, and then bring yourself into the side angle. So you bend your arm and you push away from your top thigh to turn your heart forward. We're adding some rotational force to the spine. Take your arm on the inside and then really push away from that back foot. The whole pinky toe edge and the heel of the back foot are pushing into the floor, trying to lift the arch up. Grab the floor with the toes. Bending a little deeper if that's appropriate. Long spine. Feel this in your body. Really push. You either push with your hand or push with the arm to push that knee away. You'll feel that deep adductor inner thigh stretch. Now put your body between two sheets of glass. Push the tushy forward and the rib cage back. Take one more breath. Bring yourself up and out and all the way out. Take your feet, now stretch the feet. Take the top of the foot, push into the top of the foot. You can put your hands, if you put your hands on your waist and you push your elbows back, it helps with balance because the shoulder blades come onto the back of the body to help you. And then stretching the ankles, bring your feet here, roll to the edges. Try to lift the arches off the floor, lift the feet off the floor, the soles of the feet off the floor to stretch your ankles. And then shake your feet. So I'd like to do a little warrior dance. So those were static postures. It means we held them. We stayed in there to create the stimulation. I'd like to do a little warrior dance, which keeps us in those postures in the bottom part of our body, and it creates a lot of length here in our trunk. So it's a great way to take a break if you're sitting a lot or need to work on creating more space in your spine. So take your feet wide. We're going to go to the left first. Lift your left toe away, right heel away. You're going to put a slight bend in your left leg. Slide your right hand down, coming into your warrior two. Let's take one breath here. On the exhale, bring yourself into what's called reverse warrior. Bring your hand up towards the sky. The back hand is on the thigh. And then reach along. Bring your hand onto the front of your thigh into a side angle. And we're going to move back and forth between side angle and reverse. You inhale forward, really reach long with your fingers. Sit deep, be as deep as you can be, and move back and forth. So a little balance challenge here, moving our weight from one way to the other and letting the lower body manage that. You inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Bring yourself back up and all the way out. Give your knees, your thighs a break. Lots of work for the quads today, which means a bigger femur bone, a thicker, stronger femoral neck, and less fracture risk with thicker, better quality, more dense bones. Pick your right toes up, left heel back. Put a bend in that front leg, back hand on the thigh. You're going to push away from the back floor with the back foot, lowering down into the warrior two. And then from here, turn your front hand up, inhale. As you exhale, bring yourself up into the reverse. And then exhale forward into side angle. Exhale, reverse. And side angle. Feel that beautiful stretch in the low back, in the side waist. One more. And then bring yourself up and out. Shaking. Take a little bit wider than body stance. And we'll do this movement like hula hoop. You push your pelvis forward, push your pelvis to the side, push your pelvis back to the side, forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back. Turn that into a circle. It's the motion of a hula hoop. Keep your legs straight in one direction, and then let's go in the other direction. And then bring yourself back to center. So we'll do the chair pose. And often I do this in class with props. Let's see if we could find all the things that we need to protect us without using props. So if you have your legs zippered up, that can be something that's really nice. The other thing is this curve in the low back, if it gets really extreme, it's called lordosis. The way we can protect our low back is you squeeze your tushy and you pull the tailbone down, helping to create length and create what's called a posterior pelvic tilt. So even finding that today in our chair pose. So let's take the toes together, the big toes together, and the legs together. Zipper, zipper, zipper. Shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Exhale. As you inhale, start to push your tushy back. Start to bend your hip joint like you're cracking raw eggs. Start to sit a little deeper, and then bring your hands up so you counterbalance. Lift your toes off if you can. Squeeze your legs together. Push your heels into the floor. Squeeze your tushy cheek. Pull your tailbone down to minimize that low back curve, and then bring your hands up and deepen that bend in the hips if you can. Chair. If this is too intense, you can bring your hands together at your heart, pushing your hands together at your heart. The lower you go, the more tension. Can you go a little deeper? Look down, you should see the whole top part of your feet. Push your knees back. Feel this in your body. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. Shake your legs. So the studies on healthy aging, the studies on fall prevention, all indicate that the stronger you are in the lower body, the better chance you have of not fracturing, of not falling or not fracturing if you do fall. So really keeping this lower body strong, and the standing practice really stimulates a lot of those muscles for strength. So we'll end the standing part of the practice with one more posture. It is going to be a squat. It's a variation of the chair pose. We did the chair pose with the legs up. Now we're going to come into a wide position, and we're going to do it more like a downhill country skier, like downhill skiing, the position you take when you downhill ski. So at least have your legs wider than your body, like this. So have your feet pretty wide. I would say, really, if you can make them as wide as the mat. And then let's come into this. So you're going to push your tushy back. So there's a lot of hip joint bending happening. Hip joint bending, hip joint. Then the knees start to bend a little bit. So a lot of hips, little knees, and bring your hands forward. Go as low as you can, sit as low as you can. Squeeze the tushy, pull the tailbone down to protect the low back. Lift the toes off so you're in the back body. Rip the floor apart. You'll bring in some extra side movement here. Sit as low as you can. The lower you sit, the more stimulation. It's your practice, your body. Or you can put your hands at your chest if that feels better. Weight is back, toes are up if you can. Go down a little deeper if you can. Last few breaths. Bring your hands together, push your hands together strongly, and then bring yourself all the way up. Notice how you feel. Catch your breath. A lot of demanding, a lot of demands. That's how you stay strong. That's how you keep your body nice and strong, doing whatever you could do each day. So let's get rid of the tension. We're going to do something today that I learned in India from my teacher. It's a way to bring the energy up the spine. It's a nervous system release. So we're going to bring the energy up the spine from the base of the spine to the back of the head, which is where the stress response occurs every day, all day, subconscious and conscious, things we know are happening or things that are triggers from senses that we experience. And then to the part of us that knows better, to let everything just be okay. So this is how it goes. You take your hands on your lower belly and make the sound ha, 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 ha. And if you put your hands here, you'll feel the bouncing that happens in the low body. Ha, 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 ha. A lot of pelvic floor movement. Then you bring your hands here and you do ho, 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 ho. And feel that diaphragm activate. Ho, 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 ho. And in and up, there's an upward movement. Ho, ho. Now here, he. And now back here, back of the brain, he, me. And now to the deeper prefrontal cortical intelligent brain, the. And then we do go, go, go. So it's ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, go, go. We'll do 3 rounds of that. And on the end, let everything keep going. Don't stop the go-go. Don't stop the go-go's. All right, here we go. Ready? Inhale. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, go, go. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, go, go. Ha, 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 ho, 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 he, me, the, go, 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 go. And see how you feel. And maybe you're smiling. It definitely is a release and brings us into that nice space of release. So go ahead and let's get ready to come down for the last and final posture, the most valuable, the Shavasana. Anything you're going to be doing today, get your stuff ready and prepared for that. Coming down onto the floor, make sure you stay safe in your joints. I'm gonna go through a squat today. Why not challenge my lower body even more? Bring yourself down onto the ground. Last minute, knees into chest. Legs up in the air. And we're gonna come into final rest. Shavasana, stay with your breath. You could do the 3-part breath, breathing to the belly, the low ribs, and the heart, or just breathe down to the belly, but stay here, stay in your practice. Gently begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. To your ankles, your wrists, your elbows, your knees. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock onto your side and then push yourself up to a seated position. Closing your eyes, let your awareness go up and down your body, to your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips. pelvis, lower spine, the whole back, the belly, upper back, heart, shoulder left, shoulder right. Bring your awareness to your neck, the front, the back, the sides, and then to your head. Bring your hands together. Push your hands to your heart to your hands. Find the posture hook behind you. Gently tuck your chin down. Lift your head up to place yourself on this hook. Feel that nice lengthened feeling in your spine. We'll close with this humming sound. Let it settle what needs settled. Take an exhale. Inhale. Bringing the hands up to your forehead. Bowing in gratitude for the wisdom in this practice, the opportunity. Namaste. So I hope that was a good practice for you. We held most postures for a minute. Pretty strong practice once we got into the postures themselves. Hopefully a lot of body awareness, hopefully something you'll think about, finding that downhill skier position or that chair position, standing on one foot to do tree pose, or to lift your foot up and articulate your ankle joint. The hula hoop action standing helps to warm up your pelvis, your low back. It's a nice relieving movement, helps to move things through the system. So hopefully you learned some things today to take off your mat. The dancing warrior is one of my favorite flowing practices to bring the challenge of the pelvis and the lower extremities, balancing the movement of the upper torso. So lots of stuff today, things that I do in my life off the mat almost every single day to keep myself strong in my muscles, my body, bones, and in my mind. All right, so Gail, are you still here? Did I scare you away, or did you stay with us to the bitter end? Patty, hi. I see that you're here. I knew somebody was. Stevie. Oh, you're welcome. Good. She's way great. So I don't know if you're still here, Gail, and I hope I didn't scare you off. I don't know anything about you, who you are, what you can or can't or should or shouldn't be doing. So it's hard when I don't have that parameter. Oh, good. You're here. Yeah, so I mean, I've taught since 2010, but 2014 yoga therapy for osteoporosis. So thousands of bodies I've observed. And, if I see someone, I definitely can figure things out. But when I don't, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on, what you have, what you can or can't. All right. Any questions for me? Anyone want to go to Bali with me? October 31st to November 9th. That is in the books. Scotland 2025 will be in the early part of May. And what else? Working on a lot of stuff. So we'll see. Okay. Well, yeah, Gail, I'm the queen of cues. Never thought about that before. So Gail, I have a total hip replacement. My body was broken when I was 50. I had to learn how to understand my body so I could keep it safe as I started to bring strength back in. I had my hip replacement in 2017. So I had to learn in my own body so much about my body. And it's what I do in my teaching, because I want you to know about your body, because it's how you're going to create the strongest, safest forces to build muscles, bones, and everything else. All right. DebbieRobinson.com is my website. I have a podcast. I have great podcasts, by the way. I've got so many. God, my last talk was pretty amazing. So my last talk, if any of you are wondering if hormone replacement is an option, it's one of the best things you could do for your bones. If you want to know if it's an option for you, listen to my podcast with Dr. Mehta, and she has a really inexpensive online program for you to determine if they're right for you or not. So that's a link to my episode with Dr. Mehta. speaking about HRT. If you're going to take anything for bones, one of the best things we can actually take for bones is hormones, and knowing when that's appropriate. So she's a medical doctor and she's fantastic. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all. We will not be together next week. Everything recorded videos is what I'll share. And then the 4th of July, we'll see what happens, how I feel, how you guys are all feeling. Maybe a short firecracker practice for 30 minutes, or maybe we'll just say, no, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, keep practicing every day. All right. Bye.